Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, to the dark night of the season here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's the 21st of December. This is the solstice, sometimes called the first day of winter, even though winter has been around in the Northern Hemisphere for a few days before, maybe even longer. But it is the day, the darkest night of the season. This is the shortest daylight time. And then we always have the encouragement of knowing that on December 22nd, the day is going to start getting a bit longer as we turn the corner. I'm Stan Houston. These are interesting ideas, hopefully inspiring sometime, hopefully informational at all times, and hopefully something that will help you work into the next year with a little more energy, enthusiasm, and the ability to make it a better year and to live a better life. That's what we try and do, and sometimes we do it well, but we always aspire to that. Hey, today I want to begin with a little paragraph from a book that has been helpful to me. And it's written by a woman who is one of the best known, but least known about authors, particularly in the religious broadcasting field. Her name is Sarah Young. She's somewhat of a recluse or recluse. I think she might describe herself as a little bit of a hermit from time to time. But she's written a great deal and has millions of followers, but really eschews the traditional star role that most authors seek. Sarah Young said this about this day, December 21st. My plan for your life. My plan for your life is unfolding before you today. Sometimes the road you are traveling seems blocked, or it opens up so painfully slow that you must hold yourself back. Then when time is right, the way before you suddenly clears through no effort of your own. What you have longed for and worked for, I present to you freely as pure gift. You feel awed by the ease with which I operate in the world, and you get a glimpse of my power and my glory. Are you in that situation today? Well, I am, and that's why it spoke to me very specifically as I work very, very hard to make a number of projects in my life that I believe are good for me, good for others, and they actually have a little bit of divine providence in them. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that idea again of what do we do with the idea of miracles? Yeah, miracles. Let's see if we can talk a little bit about that and see where it's going to lead us. I'm Stan Houston. The program Interesting Ideas begins right now. Thank you for being with us this week. And one of the challenges we have said is that, yes, the Christmas season has the proverbial comfort and joy. We're looking for comfort, we're looking for joy, we're looking for good times. But of course, we also know that there's going to be some struggles, some difficulties. There's probably going to be some tragedies. And after the Christmas day is done, life will go on pretty much the same unless we make something very different happen, or at least we are blessed with something different. I couldn't help but think as I watched the people in Buenos Aires celebrate. Oh, yes, how wonderful. They won the World Cup, and in the midst of all the difficulties that they're having in Argentina, here comes the soccer football players, and there's a massive crowd greeting them, and a lot of cheering takes place, and it's a happy day. They declared it a national holiday in Buenos Aires so that the whole nation could celebrate. Good for them. But that was yesterday. And now, today, it's back to the same. Nothing was solved. Nothing was made better. Nothing was accomplished except that they won a soccer game a couple days before. And now they have to go on and put together, one day at a time, the life and business they were doing before. Nice to have the break for 24 or 48 hours, but then we have to press on. So comfort and joy in the midst of the everyday. That's what Christmas does for us. But if we're taking some things seriously, we also know that there will be a crisis, and that doesn't mean that something bad will happen. A crisis means that we are confronted with a choice. Something has come together, something has converged, and we have to make a life decision about it. And that happens all the time, even in small ways. Our health, we get a word. We have to make a decision. Our wealth, we are confronted. We are concerned. We have an opportunity or we have something that's pressing on us and we have to make a choice. Our whole family relationships, all of a sudden something happens and we are at a choice. We have to do something differently. We cannot live just in the status quo. And so I encourage you to understand that perhaps Christmas, like many of the holidays and many of the special days, are meant to put us in continual choices. In fact, the whole idea of what was called the seventh day or the Sabbath day was meant to be, if you read the story of the tradition, that's the day when God said, stop what you're doing. Got 6 days to do your deal. Now today is a holiday or a holy day, so stop what you're doing, and you are at a crisis day. You are at choice. You are going to reflect on the past week, reflect on your life, look ahead to what's just before you, and you're going to make some decisions about how you're going to do your next day, your next week, and perhaps something new and next in your life. That's what we're doing. It would be curiously interesting, and I'm afraid I would know the results, to actually do what many of these people on many of the news talk shows, they just go out into the street and they ask people random questions. And I would be curious as to what would happen if they would do that and they would say, hey, what is this Christmas stuff all about? Okay, what is this Christmas stuff all about? And they could ask people who claim to be Christians that, and I would be interested to see what they think it's about. And for those who are practitioners or very much involved in being Jewish or in the Jewish tradition, if they were stopped and said, okay, what is Hanukkah all about? It would be interesting to hear their answers. Well, I'm just going to simply suggest to you that you perhaps do a little bit of the same thing. And if you'll give me just a few minutes, I'd like to suggest just a couple things that you might want to think about if you can allow the Christmas day or the Christmas stuff to perhaps have a bit of a crisis in your life. Interesting ideas. We'll be right back. Well, did anything come to you? And what is clear to you now? Well, first of all, let me suggest one that I have obviously been talking about the last couple days, and that is to have the full realization that when we live life fully and completely, we are open to mystery. That we understand that there are so many things that we don't understand. And that we will live in the tension. One of my great mentors, one of my dear friend pastors who somehow, when he died, what I thought was a very early age, and on Christmas Eve day, so that's always a little bit of a bittersweet day for me, when Pastor Carl was mentoring me as a young man who was a bit of a rogue and a rebel and had paid some of the consequences for it, he said to me, he said, "Stan, you have to learn how to live in tension. Right, wrong, true, false. Oftentimes we have to have the paradox, the mystery of so many things that we don't understand, along with many of the things that we do understand, and they don't fit oftentimes, at least fully, and sometimes not at all. And your measure of success will be how well you can keep your courage and your confidence, and indeed what you believe in, and live in the creative tension of life. You may have a miracle, and you may have a miracle denied. What do you do about that? You may have good fortune, and you may have tragedy. You cause neither. How do you live in that tension? So may I just simply suggest that you think about what my wonderful mentor said to me. Stan, if you want to be successful in life, courage, confidence, creativity, uniqueness, difference, don't be the same. Be unique, be you. Don't be like anybody else but you. And learn to live in the tension. And then later on, another mentor said, and sometimes, Stanley Paul, you're going to have to learn how to forgive. And one of the things you're going to have to learn how to forgive is not only people, but the very reality of your being. It's not what I expected. It's not what I wanted. I don't fully understand this, but it is reality. And I will have the courage and the confidence to forgive it for being real right now in my life and place. So perhaps that's what might be helpful. Number 2, hey, look for the small miracles. Don't look for the big ones. You may or may not have a big miracle, but just see if you might experience the small miracles. The other day, I swear, we were 3 to 4 seconds from what could have been a very bad accident. But boom, stopped. We're okay. Nothing happened. But it could have been tragedy. And I know that after we got through, parked the car, and I just simply said, thank you, thank you, thank you. Probably a small Christmas miracle for me that time at that day. So there we go, 15 minutes. Learn to live and maybe enjoy the creative tension that is in your life, because it will help you be a creator, which is what you are made to do. And secondly, just start looking for the small miracles. I'm Stan Houston, just a few random ramblings and rants on the radio. We call it Interesting Ideas. We'll finish up and be back. Okay, stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. I have a gift I would like to give you, and that is the gift of helping you with your first radio program. And I'm willing to help you do your very first one free of charge, and you'll find out if that could be for you. So contact me, stanhouston@gmail.com, and we're going to decide if we can help you, and we will help you, do your very first little radio program. You may just share it with friends, or you just may put it in your practice portfolio. We'd be happy to do that. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about one of my best-known little 10 minutes talks, which is called Touched by an Angel. Would you like to be touched by an angel? Well, what might happen if truly there are such things as angels mentioned in the Christmas story? And what would happen if one of them came to you? We'll talk about that on Solstice Plus One as the days get longer and a bit brighter. We'll do that tomorrow. Best and blessings to you. Take care, and please be in touch. And again, create the tension and live in it, and look for the small miracles. Bye for now.